Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Rick Rude Von Dick Dude. He is one half of the Winklevoss twins. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I just don't know.
What the fuck happened, man?
What the
fuck happened, dude?
Are you kidding?
Are you shitting me?
Are you
out of your mind?
Are you putting on my pants, shitting them, and putting them back on me?
Yeah.
Like, is that what we're doing? Because that's what happened to me today, Richard.
This is what happened, and I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings. You know that I don't like to be that. But what happened is Ryan Davey, our friend here, co-host of the podcast, has been playing the Red Sox season since day one.
Every fucking day.
Jesus.
Every day.
Yep. Opening day, in fact, we spent a good amount of time on the Dale and Keefe program talking about the digital Red Sox on opening day. We even had Ryan Davey on for a post-game interview.
Yep.
That was a month ago, it felt
And it
like.
was sparkling, that interview.
It was fantastic. Some of the best radio you're ever going to hear.
By the way, I saw you. I don't drink anymore, Richard. Once I started getting on the health thing, I've been off it. I saw you make that sangria today.
What do you think of the sangria?
I need one of those today.
It's delicious.
I need 5 of those today.
Well, I'm working on it.
Sorry, it's already interrupted. Keep going. Tell the
sangria. I tweeted out the sangria at Keefe21. You can see the sangria recipe if you want to make one at home. They are delicious, and they pour for 2. But Davey's been playing all these goddamn games. We've been having a good time. It's a good way. It's synergy. People, they promote that in businesses. Dork, EEI, Red Sox, back to Dork, synergy. So today was supposed to be, if it wasn't for the goddamn coronavirus, a pretty big day in the city of Boston. It's the Boston Marathon Day, which also coincides with a early matinee Red Sox at 11:05 Eastern. And our plan all along was
from 2 weeks ago.
From forever
2 weeks ago, this was a plan. Yep.
We're like, Davey's going to play the game, and we're going to get Joe Castiglione and Will Fleming to do play-by-play. We said, this sounds fucking awesome. I was like, also, back in my mind, too good to be true. And turns out it fucking was. Because out of nowhere, Rob Bradford starts streaming the game on his own, I guess, and like doing play-by-play on his own. And like, it wasn't
playing the game.
Not playing the game, just like talking over a simulated game without a microphone, apparently. He was talking into a potato.
Yeah.
And so that rubbed me the wrong way. Hence why I think we're the goddamn Winklevoss twins of WEEI now.
Winklevoss twins.
Is playing MLB The Show instead of the Red Sox season the greatest idea in the world? Maybe not, but I still want credit for it. I still want credit.
And not only that, but like blood, sweat, and tears, baby. And you know what the worst part is, Richard?
What's the worst part, Ryan?
I said to you last night that playing the game I played for today was the most fun I had ever had playing video games in years. Let me tell you what happened. If you watch Brad's simulation today, Red Sox got pumped 11-2.
How's that good for morale?
How's that good for morale?
It's not good for morale.
And everyone's like, this team sucks, right? He's calling up like pitchers I'd never heard of before. Like, I don't know like what roster he was using, but
terrible. Shit dumps all around.
The game I played, first of all, I played 2 games because I kicked my
well, you did have a little bit of
I had a little bit of a technical issue, so I had to play but I was down in that game. I was down 8-1 in the 5th inning or something, 7th inning, right?
And it shit the bread.
And the thing shit the bed. So I had to play the game back again.
Yep.
And I'm down 10 after 4. 10-0. And you shut it off.
I said, I can't watch this. I'm with my daughter. I go, we can't watch this.
You quit on me. Turns out we came back and won 14-10.
One of the great comebacks of
the Marathon Monday miracle.
Yeah.
And what happened? He could have been doing the play-by-play for that game, which was the most fun I had ever had. But no, he had to watch someone speaking into a Nextel 2-way cellular phone and the Red Sox getting pumped. Asinine. Asinine. I'm slapping the desk. I'm so mad.
You know, you think we're a part of something.
Mad. You think we're a part of something.
No, we're not.
We're not. You know what? It's nice. You know what? In the silver lining here, Richard, is it's nice to be taken down. You know where you. I know where I stand now. I know where I am.
Yep.
You've made it very clear.
Bottom rung.
You've shown me the cards. I mean, I get it.
Did you watch the platform yet?
No, not yet.
Well, let's just say you're at the bottom of the platform.
I'm getting the scraps and like dead people.
Not
That's
even,
what I'm, that's
not
what I'm
even
getting
scraps. You're getting feces.
You're getting
not
everyone's
good, Ryan.
excrement.
I have a couple other things, and I know we want to be more upbeat because we've actually gotten a lot of people, and I really appreciate it on Twitter and on the email at Dork Podcast and dorkpodcast@gmail.com. People saying, and people that have like real jobs, talking about how like this has been a little bit of an escape for them. So I appreciate that. And that's really cool that you're listening, and hopefully we can get you through an hour of your week or whatever. But I got a couple of things to complain about real quick besides that. So on fucking Friday or Saturday, all of a sudden, the heat in my house is coming out cool.
Okay.
Not good, Ryan.
Not good. What kind of heat? You get electric? You get Earl? What do you got?
We got gas heat.
Gas. Okay.
Gas heat. So it's coming out cool, and it's not ideal. And thankfully, it's spring-ish, but we also have a 9 going on 10-month-old baby.
Right.
So like I can sleep when it's fucking 50 degrees. I don't care.
Love it.
With the young child, because Ryan, what would you rather be, hot or cold? Obviously cold.
Obviously cold. Cold's the answer.
So anyway, so we call them up on Saturday. I'm not going to name the name of the place because they may or may not be a future sponsor at some point. So on Saturday, the guy comes over. He is looking at my furnace for like 2.5 hours. He's in my house for 2.5 hours, which is fine because he's a professional.
What, do you take a fucking nap?
He took a sleep and a dump, which was concerning. He comes to me and he says, yeah, I don't know what it is. I go, well, that's funny because you know who also didn't know what it was? Me. And that's why I called you. And so he's like, hey, I need to get in hold of tech support, but they're not open till Monday. I go, what's that? Because they're not open till Monday. I go, no, I heard you the first time. I guess I just didn't want to hear what you said.
Yeah.
And so I sent him on his way. We have no heat still. Again, not the worst weekend to have no heat, but again, when you have a baby, it does get cold at night.
Sure enough. And you don't want to wrap the baby in blankets.
No. No, you
Swaddle,
don't.
Yes. Not blankets, though. Not
so how about
blankets.
this? So then my wife calls like I forget which place, like Lowe's or Home Depot or one of those places. And she's online first, and she's like, oh, I can order 2 space heaters.
Nice.
And get the curbside pickup. I'm like, perfect. We'll do the curbside pickup. So then I wake up the next morning. I'm like, should I go right now? She's like, actually, I'm supposed to get an email to let you know that they're available.
Right.
And then she looks at it, and apparently they weren't going to be available for like a few days. Oh, so we're like, well,
useless.
That's not great.
Cancel it. Yeah.
So she calls the place, and she's like, hey, do you have any of these like bad Larrys hanging around? The one guy's like, yeah, we do. So I drive like 15 minutes to the place, right? And I go to customer service where they said they would reserve 2 of them for me.
Sure.
I go, hey, do you have those 2 space heaters? They looked at me like I asked for like the balls of like a goat.
A gazorp.
Gazorp field. Like I asked for 2 bags of Bobbish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I go, my wife called ahead. She said, and they're like, those are like a seasonal item. I don't think we have those. I'm like, well, she just said you had 2 of them. We're going to put them all aside. I talked to like 5 people there. I'm there for a while. They don't have them. They legit don't have them. So I drive to another place that's close by, and my wife
fucking snipe hunt. Fucking snipe hunt they set you on.
Unbelievable. So then I go to another place, which isn't too far away. My wife is like, I think they have them, or at least they say, but like at this point, we don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
So I go to this place, and I'm walking all over the goddamn place. Some people are wearing masks. Some people aren't wearing masks. It's like, everybody's out there because they all got like home projects to do. I'm like, I don't have a fucking home project. I just want to heat my baby's room.
Yeah.
So then I get there. They don't have any of the goddamn heaters. But then they do, but they're just on a pallet, which is like higher than Venus.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I hate to do this, man, but like, can I get those? And the guy's like, oh yeah, no problem. Fucking don't see that guy again for 15 minutes. So then another guy comes by. This other guy I appreciate though. This other guy comes by. He's like, can I help you? I'm like, well, I thought a guy was helping me. I'm like, I need to get like those pallets down. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. So he like blocks off both of like the down like the row.
Yeah.
It's a whole song and dance, but at least he got the ball rolling a little bit.
Sure.
So they get the pallet down. The guy comes over. How many do you need? I'm like, at this point, I just want the one. I just want to get out of there. So he takes it down, and I go up to him, and I'm like, and then I heard his boss tell him, he's like, yeah, once he gets the one out, you got to tape it back up and put it back up there. And so I say to the guy, I'm like, man, I'm really sorry. This was such a pain in the ass. His response, a blank stare. He goes, he's wearing a mask. He was just like, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just sorry. I just need to take this. And I need to go home. And then long story short, the heating place came back today.
Sure.
And had a guy who apparently knew what the fuck he was doing, and now it's fixed.
So you didn't even need the space heater.
I shouldn't have. If the fucking guy who came today came on Saturday, it would have been fixed it would have been fucking fixed in a half hour. This guy was great.
How about the second? And I'm in a very bad headspace right now, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, we're hot. We're running hot.
The second that guy mean mugged me, Lowe's or wherever you were, I would have looked him dead in his fucking eyes and be like, you know what, I don't need it, and laid it on the floor, be like, see ya, keep it,
you fucking coward.
Yeah. I'm in a bad headspace right now, Rich.
I'm in a bad headspace too, and so.
But I'm glad your heat's fixed. I'm glad the bidet is warm.
She's fine. Again, I'm like, listen, I can.
She's a trooper.
If it's a little cool, I'm fine. She doesn't give a shit. She was fine anyway.
Put on some Sesame Street. She's
my god, does she love Sesame? The other thing is this. So last night, I'm sitting there minding my own business. We had the space heater down the hall, which, by the way, these space heaters don't fucking work the way they're supposed to.
And they're a fire hazard too.
Oh my god, I was just waiting for the whole house to go up.
Yeah.
These things. And I was reading reviews on it, and they were like, yeah, like the thermometer on there or whatever, the thermostat doesn't fucking work at all. You're right. Like her room, because we had like the baby monitor.
Sure.
Her room went from like 65 to 78 in like 2 seconds. I'm like, that's hot. We got to get that thing out of there.
Cranking.
And they're like, oh yeah, like you could put it on like this eco-friendly way where like it'll shut off. No, it doesn't.
No,
it just pumps out heat the whole time. And so there was that. So last night we're sitting there. We're in like a cold room, but again, I like it cold. Baby's heating up. My dog comes to the door. So you've been to my house. So we have in our family room, like the door comes up and the dog. It's like a glass door, so you can see the dog. He comes right up to the door, proud as punch, dead rabbit in his mouth. But his expression, he's like, I'm going to come in, obviously, right? And show you what I did, what I got here. And
let me explain.
My wife, so mad at him. And I said, I think that's misdirected anger because he's not a killer. He's not a killer. Again, Ryan, you've met him. Nice guy. And my wife goes, she was like almost about to cry. She's like, I saw that bunny in the front yard. That's definitely the same one. I'm like,
we know the thing about rabbits. Fucking lot of them.
So much fucking.
There's so many of them.
But it was definitely fresh. And now so right now we basically, I go, listen, he hasn't had his day in court yet. You can't pin this on Harrow because I will be his defense attorney. I don't think he did it. I don't think he's killed any animals, and I don't think he has it in him. She's like, he snapped his neck. He definitely did. So then I have to carry the fucking bunny out and like throw him over the fence. That's gross. A dead bunny?
That's gross.
Ugh. But Harrow, he was just like, he wanted to bring him in so bad to show us.
So I read,
because we have a fox in our
area. Oh yeah. It was definitely like,
I think it was something else.
And he either like chased it off.
Yes.
Like if it was a fox, like, or a bobcat, like he probably chased it up. Actually,
I think my guess is a fox. Yeah, fox killed it, and then all of a sudden Harrow came running out of the house, and the fox was like, "I'll get it later," and just left. And then he grabbed it like it was his, like a trophy.
Yeah,
because he did that 2 Thanksgivings ago. This thing was mangled, and like I think a hawk got it.
Oh boy, yeah.
And he brought it to the door, and Katie was screaming. I was like, "It's fine." He was just. I've never seen him so proud. I'm like, I don't even think he fucking killed it.
So I read something somewhere once that dogs do that because exactly like you said, they want you to be proud of them, and they want to, like, they bring value, they bring food to the family, they're valuable or whatever.
100%.
When a cat does it, it's because it's telling you that it thinks you can't feed yourself. That it's basically being like, here, like I have to provide for you because you can't fucking do this yourself.
I believe that.
I don't forget where I read it, but it was like a reputable it wasn't like Cracked or something. It wasn't like The Onion. It was like actually an actual article.
It wasn't weei.com.
No. And like there was, and it was talking about, there was a guy who was doing underwater. We're so fucking off topic right now, but it's fine.
Ryan, that's the podcast.
The guy was taking underwater videos of seals. And the way you do it is like you get in a wetsuit with like a life jacket and you just kind of like bob in the water, like on the surface, and let them like kind of go like around you. And this seal thought this guy was hurt. And so like it kept bringing him like dead fish.
Oh my God. That's
It
amazing.
thought he was hurt and like thought he was like, it was
Like,
trying to
dude,
feed
eat,
him.
Eat,
Yeah.
you'll get better.
Yeah.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah. And he was just holding the camera. And like the whole time the seal would swim right up to the camera and like leave a fish. First, it was live fish. Like he bit it and brought it to him. Next, it was dead fish. And then next, it was pieces of fish. So like,
that's unbelievable. He's like, well, maybe you can eat this at least.
Yeah. Or maybe I killed it for you so you don't have to. Yeah. It was like actually trying to help.
That really shows
they're
crazy. They're intelligent.
We'll talk about that in a minute here.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, and so then the last thing is, so my wife was distraught about the bunny, and I'm like, it was probably the fox. So she texts one of her friends, and one of her friends who I actually really like, but she texts her, and she's like, so the response she gets back is, no, it wasn't the fox, because if it was the fox, it would have been missing its head. I was like, what? Like, what the fuck kind of information is that?
But, or like you said, he probably just snapped its neck and was like in the process of and got spooked.
Maybe she's right. All right, Ryan, all that to say this. You ready for the news of the week?
That wasn't the news?
No, that's not
all right, let's go with the news.
This week in Hashtag Dork, Ryan, is brought to you by the Griffin.
The Griffin?
The Griffin.
Say more right now.
Death is only the beginning. Follow Avery Cole as he is thrust into a multiversal Cold War between the ever-expanding Emprose Corporation and the defenders of our Earth, the Tribunal. It's a novel, Ryan, about Avery Cole, a University of Chicago student accidentally becoming the wielder of Excalibur, the Griffin. And he learns that his Earth is only one of many, and that his Earth is at the center. His mentor is Nicholas, a dwarf, but actually the world's first hero, Gilgamesh. In this world, mythological beings walk around in modern day, and the hidden magical world is run by the Tribunal, an assembly composed of various magical families and cities. That's right, Ryan, we have a sponsor. It is a novel. You can follow the author on Twitter at Stephen Price. You can also check out everything you need to know about it on facebook.com/theonetruegriffin, and you can grab it both the hard copy and on Kindle on Amazon.
I'm not just saying this because you just read that. I'm going to read this.
Of course.
Like,
Gilgamesh? I remember reading that in college. The Epic of Gilgamesh. Yeah.
Like, this sounds like right up my alley.
It's a fantasy novel, so go check this out. Stephen Price is a listener of the podcast, and this sounds right up our alley.
Yeah, I'm going to download it as soon. Yeah.
Ryan, as for the news of the week, we're going to start with some bad news, although not surprising news, as the San Diego Comic-Con scheduled for this summer has been canceled, like everything else.
This is sad because I think people are talking about, like, especially like E3 and stuff, like they might never happen again.
Yeah, because they just have to be so different. And like we've been to a bunch of the cons, as the bad boys of Comic-Con would. We've been to a bunch of them, and talk about close quarters with people.
Not only that, but like I think especially with E3, like people are finding that they can do their own thing.
That's true too, and like
online or whatever. Like Sony has their own. They don't go to E3. They have their own press release.
Well, it's funny because we've always said we want to go to San Diego Comic-Con.
We really do.
At the same time, I'm like, they tweet out almost every trailer like right away.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of big groups of people.
Me neither.
And I'm like, man, if you're going to get all this information, like there's usually like two things that are like San Diego Comic-Con exclusives and you had to be in the room. Everything else, they're like, here's MCU's like everything that they got. And I'm like, I want to go, but I'm like, it's also just a lot. And I don't even know if it would be worth it necessarily. Like, I'm sad for the people that like it.
Yeah.
Like,
or the people who are like, who go every year and are
like that's
to it. Yeah.
That's too bad.
That sucks. But I hope that's not the case. I hope this does continue. PAX can get fucked, but
they can fuck right off. Yeah, they can fuck off the hard way. So I don't really care about PAX. Ryan, did you see the Capone trailer starring your boy Tom Hardy?
I did. This looks weird.
It looks weird, and it's also directed by the what's his nuts? The guy that did the shitty Fantastic Four movie. Trask? Is that his name?
Yeah. Josh Trank.
Oh, maybe Josh Trank.
Yeah. So the premise of this, correct me if I'm wrong. It's
Josh Trank. Sorry.
Josh Trank. It's an older Al Capone who's like at the end of his life. He's in Florida now. He's out of jail. He's in Florida.
Yeah.
And he has like dementia. So looking at the trailer, like a bunch of weird shit happens in the trailer, and like part of me is like, is half of what's going on here like just in his mind?
Could be one of those weird ones.
Yeah, like it could be one of the weird non-sequential, like shot out of order, and you know what I mean.
The last movie that Josh Trank wrote and directed was Fantastic Four.
Well, he had a huge beef. This is like his big comeback because there was a huge beef with him and like. He basically motherfucked the studio, like left, right, and center, basically saying that like the movie I wanted to shoot wasn't that movie, and like basically came out and basically said like I just mailed it in. Like as soon as they started telling me that what I couldn't do, I would just like, and there was that, remember those reports that he was being like a problem on set and like
So I mean, this will be it for him. Like if this is good, like maybe he'll get a chance to make more, and if it sucks, then like, all right, maybe that's what you are, dude.
That's what you are.
Speaking of directors, Ryan, Sam Raimi made it official. We already kind of talked about this, but he officially is doing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Good. I mean, this has been billed as Marvel's first horror movie, right?
Yep, it has.
Who better? Like, say what you want
good.
about Spider-Man 3. Say what you want about that, but
it was
like,
not good.
It was not good. But I mean, fuck. I mean,
what? But Scott Derrickson did for the first Doctor Strange. He also did Insidious. I thought not Insidious. Sinister. He did Sinister.
Yeah, I always get Insidious and Sinister.
They're right. I don't know why, but he did Sinister. I thought he would have been good for this, but apparently they had like a disagreement, and so bring in Sam Raimi, who obviously is familiar with Spider-Man, who may pop up in this as well.
Yeah, so and like, but I guess so. What was Derrickson's issue was like they wanted to make Scarlet Witch the villain.
I think so.
He, like, was not on board with that, and they're like, "That's what it's got to be."
Right. That's what we're doing. So
yeah,
you can do it or not,
and it doesn't have to be like that. Like 616 Scarlet Witch. It could be another Scarlet Witch, like one that
it is the multiverse of madness. You can really do whatever you want. Ryan, the Better Call Saul finale is tonight. I can't wait. I'm going to watch it.
I cannot wait. Done with this. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Dude, this season's been so good. We haven't really talked about it much on the podcast, but the last like 3 episodes have been crazy.
And
good.
I think I said it. It might have been when we were doing the thing with Mac and Goo, like the episode in the desert with Mike and Saul. Was my favorite episode of this entire series.
Episode 8, I believe, right? Yeah. So it was like 2 ago.
Yeah, when they were in just the two of them in the desert. It was awesome.
Crazy good. And I still don't know, and this isn't a spoiler, but I don't know what they're going to do with Kim's character.
Well, and like, it's not, like you said, it's not a spoiler because you know she's not in.
Right. She's not in Better Call Saul, and she's
not in Breaking Bad.
Big character. Oh, yeah, she's not in Breaking Bad. She's a significant character in Better Call Saul. So, like, how's that going to work?
She has to go away one way or the other.
But not only that, but to the point where like Saul doesn't even mention her. Although Saul does mention in Breaking Bad like a flippant comment about like an ex-wife.
Yeah.
But it's a comment that like I don't even think he meant it. Like I think he was just
I think he was joking.
Bullshitting.
Yeah.
But he has a wife now. But anyway. All right, Ryan, that's the news that I got. Let's get to your news.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I have a little bit of news here. So there's and this might be movie news, but I don't know. This is technically video game news. Marvel Studios or Warner Brothers Studios just did they set a trailer for a new animated Mortal Kombat movie called I think it's like Scorpion's Revenge or something like that.
I think animated makes the most sense actually for Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, it's animated. It's got like that Batman-y look to it. And they're probably not going to go there. It's Warner Brothers. Like it's a no, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, they go there.
Do they go there?
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's very gory. I saw the trailer. It's we'll post it or something like that.
I'll watch that.
So that's kind of. Then I was reading this story. This could make Keefe madness.
Okay.
In Lewis County, Tennessee, a 10-year-old boy.
Yes. I'm hooked.
What had his throat? The kid's okay.
Okay.
He had his throat cut by an adult male over a video game argument.
Mortal Kombat's a very good game, but I think that Donkey Kong is the greatest game of all
So
time.
again, this happened in Tennessee. The boy is he's taken to the hospital to meet an ambulance. They had to taser the guy.
Well, of course, he was pissed.
To drop, suffered injuries that were not life-threatening and was transported to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. So the kid's fine. That's the only reason I told the story, because I know the kid's fine.
Good.
You have like these rage fantasies when playing these kids in these games. I understand. You don't go to a 10-year-old kid's house.
Can't do it, dude.
I get it. We're all locked up. Don't travel to Tennessee and find the kid.
So was it because they were playing and he didn't like the kid, like the way they were playing, or was it
details
an
at this point are a bit sketchy? But it says there was an argument.
Well, all right,
yeah,
okay.
And they had to taser the guy to get the knife out of his hand. So this guy meant business.
I guess so. Yeah.
We don't usually like to work this bleak on the Video Game Minute, but I typed in video game news. I wanted to see like kind of what was going on.
Sometimes you have to, Ryan.
Sometimes you have to. So I'm doing my research and like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's not good.
So the other news is, other than today's mishap, I mean, have you been enjoying the digital Red Sox?
I had been, yes.
You had been, yeah. I mean, the digital Bruins, like not a lot of people are into the digital Bruins, but we're following along with it, right? You know,
we're having a good time. I enjoy the sporting events.
Well, tough shit. I'm done.
Come on.
I'm done. Stuff your sorries in a sack.
I can't say I blame you, Ryan.
I'm done. I did all that work just for you to snake it, just so you could hawk beef jerky on your Facebook feed. Get out of here.
It feels like we've either had a stranger stick their fist up our assholes, or we've been given $1 million every day for the rest of our lives.
And it feels like the former. So you know what? Have fun, hawking, coffee while watching a simulated game that no one's playing. Have fun. Do it yourself.
It shouldn't have played out this way, but here we are.
Shouldn't have done it.
But here,
You're only
Ryan,
gonna hurt
here
me.
we are.
You hurt my feelings. I'm out.
Oh man. How about this? Are you ready for the topic du jour?
I don't know.
Well, I'm glad
what even is that?
It's the topic
du jour.
I'm glad you asked, Ryan. It's the topic of the day.
Is it something that someone's going to swoop in and take from us? Again?
Probably.
Can't wait.
I wouldn't be shocked if by the time this is posted, somebody has already stolen it and
it's on the air right now talking about the topic du jour. Yeah,
is doing the topic du jour to millions upon millions of people. Ryan, today what we're going to do, and this is on the one hand, maybe we could have done this episode sooner, but the fact that we're all still pretty much in the same space now, we're all at home, we're all looking for things to watch, it still qualifies. We are doing 50 things to watch. They are all on streaming services right now. And with the caveat, I have some, I guess, that are a little bit more obvious than others, but for the most part, for the hashtag DORK audience, these are things that we have not done full episodes on. So we're not going to sit here and be like, hey, watch The Boys and Game of Thrones. Like it's not a list like that.
No.
And I like that we haven't spent a ton of time on, but we have 50, pardon the French, fucking things for you to watch.
And hope at most 50. Some we might overlap a little bit, but I don't think we're going to.
We probably
I don't know your list, you don't know my list, but
yeah, that's true. There might be, if me and Davey have the exact same list, we're giving you 25 things to watch. Yeah. But if not, we have 50 goddamn things to watch. Let's start, and we can spend as much or as little time as you want on each thing.
Great.
But let's start, if you don't mind. Let's do Netflix first.
Let's start with the heavy hitter. You want to ping pong it? Or you want me to just do my 5?
Ooh, what do you think? What do you like?
Ping pong it. Let's
ping pong.
Ping pong.
Fucking ping pong.
Let's fucking ping pong it.
Fucking ping pong. Arkanoid, but with a friend.
So just regular ping pong.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
ping pong.
The first show I'm going to mention, and I mentioned this because I really enjoyed the first season, and the next season is coming out Friday or Saturday. And that is a show called Afterlife. It's a Ricky Gervais show.
Okay.
It's really, really good. It's funny at times. The premise is that Ricky Gervais's wife has just passed away from cancer, and it's sad, and he's obviously grieving. But how he chooses to grieve, we all do it in our own way, but his is just to like not give a shit about anything anymore. So he works at a paper and he's just like a dick to everybody, but there's all these like really cool side characters that are super well developed and just a really good, well-written show. And I know Ricky Gervais can be like a douche sometimes, but like
I like him.
It's really good.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Afterlife, watch it with. It's a good show. If you have someone special in your life, it's a good show to watch with them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Very good. I'm going to go with a stand-up special for my first one, and it just came out. Chris D'Elia.
Fucking hilarious.
I love Chris D'Elia. I've loved. I'm not saying I'm the first to love Chris D'Elia because people loved him, I'm sure, before I have. But he is very, very funny. The new special is called No Pain. I believe he has 3 different specials on Netflix that are all available. You should watch them all. Also, his podcast is very good. One of the few people I can actually listen to solo that I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both radio shows to me aren't good solo.
Yeah.
And I've done solo shows. And I know that they're terrible, but like I've done them because I've had to. But for him to sit there by himself and do a podcast, like, he's hilarious. I remember seeing him. Remember when Whitney Cummings had her own?
She had her show. Yeah,
Whitney?
he was on it.
Called Whitney.
Yeah,
and her Chris D'Elia played the boyfriend, so he was on that. He also did something. What the fuck was it called? Was it called the 10-minute podcast with him, Will Sasso, and who was the little dude from Mad TV? That was the guy who was like who married the couple in The Hangover. The fuck is that guy's name? You know, the little comedian. I'll look it up.
I can't remember.
Bro, Brian Callen.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So Brian Callen, D'Elia, and Will Sasso are all like good boys, and they did like they used to do a podcast together, and it's called like the 10-minute podcast. But anyway, D'Elia's hilarious, and when we did our list of best stand-ups, he wasn't on it. But if you did best current stand-ups, he's got a good chance of cracking that list.
He's pretty funny, and like he does a lot of like
voices.
It's a lot of wacky voices,
which I love.
Like,
I love.
It works.
Voices. Yeah,
it works. Like
I
was watching it, and I was watching it with my wife. I'm like, wait till he does his baby voice. His baby voice is because it sounds nothing like a baby. It sounds like a deaf person.
Right.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, but it was like I was fucking pissing myself laughing.
He's so funny.
So
and he had a great point too, and it was funny because the other day, he was talking about how how most comedians overall had like a horrible upbringing. Yeah. Like that's why they're funny. And so, not to give away all of his jokes from this most recent special, but he is the opposite. And he's like, I had like my parents were together. They were very supportive. Like I had a great upbringing. And it's like, and it's good because I agree. Like most comedians came from sort of a fucked up background, but not all of them. Like you can still be funny and have like 2 supportive parents. Like it's possible. Look at the fuck us. Yeah. So I'm with you. So anyway, check out Chris D'Elia's stand-ups.
Just to kickflip off of that, just to stalefish off of that, Richard.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also will bring up my favorite Netflix comedian, and I think he has like 4 or 5 specials on Netflix now. But Tom Segura.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah.
I love Disgraceful. I think is whichever one he tells the story about him screaming the word bikes. That's all. Like that's my favorite stand-up special of his. Or like the girl saying to him like, girls are just as horny as guys, and he tells the whole story about I don't want to give it away, but anything Tom Segura, he has a brand new one out called Ball Hog.
True, by the way. You think girls are just as horny as guys?
And if you've seen his bit on it, he lays it out in a way that makes sense. But like anything Tom Segura, and again for the same reasons you said, I mean he's boys with like Bert Kreischer, the guy does the shirtless guy, so they do a podcast together,
and they had like a weird relationship with Jay Moore too.
Yeah,
both those guys. There's a story about Jay Moore. So I like Jay Moore. Well, I think I did. Like I think his stand-ups are funny. Some of his movies are funny. And I guess the story goes, and you could probably hear it on like Rogan because these guys are all friends with Rogan.
Yeah.
But I guess there was a story that Bert Kreischer told. And it was a real story about an experience he had with Tracy Morgan.
Oh.
And it was like a real story, and he would use it, and it was like really funny. And he was like opening for Jay Moore, or he was like friends with Jay Moore at the time.
Yeah. And
Jay Moore like basically asked him if he could use that story. And Bert Kreischer was like, yeah, you can. So like he's like, go ahead, you can use the story. Yeah. But then Jay would use that story like as it was his own, and he would like tell it as his own. And it was like sort of like a weird area, I feel like.
You know what? Speaking of that, and then this is off topic. You want to hear a fucked up story I heard?
Yeah, of course.
So recently, Dana Carvey was on Howard Stern, and he was interviewed on Howard Stern.
Was this about Mike Myers?
Did you hear this story?
I think so. Go ahead.
About Dr. Evil?
Yeah.
So
That's
Dr.
his. That's
Evil,
his Lorne Michaels.
that's his Lorne Michaels impression.
Yeah.
And Mike Myers took it and used it as Dr. Evil. And he
Fucked
said
up.
even the finger was just something we would do. Like Lorne doesn't do that, but like I would do it.
Yeah. Dr. Evil was created by Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
And got no credit for it. Mike
Yep.
Myers just like bit his Lorne Michaels impression.
Yeah.
And he's like, the beauty of like impressions is like I do impressions of people I know, and like the beauty of them. And Dana Carvey says this is like once one person figures it out, and like other people then can do it. Want you to show them how to do it.
100%.
And so like he's like, I get it.
definitely
It's like I don't want credit for it, but it's kind of bullshit.
But it's right. Oh yeah. And it's weird because I'm sure some people are like, oh, look at him, he's jealous of Mike Myers. It's like,
It's
well,
like, no, I
if
don't want
that's
credit for it. It's just
if that's the
bullshit.
real
Yeah.
story, then that's the real story.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. My next thing is, I don't know how many of these you've seen. I think it's 4 seasons now. It's a whole bunch of episodes called Hip Hop Evolution.
I have seen none of these, but it's always on the thing that's like recommended
good.
for you. Yeah.
So it's like one guy, he's going around, and it is like the history of hip hop and rap music. And I have not seen every episode. I've sort of jumped around. They obviously covered like Tupac and Biggie.
Mhm.
They covered some of like the rap battles, like with Eminem and how he became famous. But then they go to like other spots, like go down to Florida and like 2 Live Crew. They go to like Texas, where like you wouldn't think there'd be like a ton of rap. Like you can just cycle through. You don't have to watch them all, but like you can read by the descriptions like which one you might like. But it's a pretty good documentary about if you like hip hop music.
And what was it? They talk about, was it 1993, which is like the best year for hip hop like ever?
Might have been. It's also crazy when you think about how much Tupac accomplished, and he was killed when he was, I believe, 25.
Yeah.
Or 25 or 26, and you're like, this guy had like a bunch of albums that were really good, but he also went to jail for a short time. He was in movies, and he was like, people still regard him as maybe the best or like top 5 rapper of all time. And it was like, man, he died so young. Same with Biggie. I mean, Biggie was like even younger than he was.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But I'm looking at it right now. So in 1993, Richard.
Yeah, what do you have?
Enter the Wu-Tang.
Oh, they do hit Wu-Tang on one of the specials. You know me. Love.
I know you love the Wu.
Love Wu.
Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders.
Oh, they're great.
Snoop Dogg's first album, KRS-One, Diggable Planets, Ready to Die. Oh, that might have been 94. But like, so like all these albums coming at the same time.
That was the first
and the first Insane Clown Posse, 1993.
Which one? Not Riddlebox, was it?
No, it was
the one before Riddlebox.
Yeah, whatever. The hell
Carnival of Carnage.
I don't know.
Probably Carnival of Carnage. I'll tell you what. The
Beverly Kills 50187.
Oh, Beverly Kills. Okay. The first ever tape I got was Snoop Dogg Doggy Style.
I got that too, and I had to hide it from my dad.
My mom bought it for me because it was behind the counter because they had the labels on them at that point.
Yeah.
And I went to like, I don't know, Strawberries or whatever the place was.
Strawberries.
And I went with my mom and I was like, that's the one that I really want. And so she bought it for me. And then we listened to the tape on the way home. And I remember like fast forwarding, like, I think it opens with like him in a bubble bath.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, fast forward that. I'm like, I know Lottie Dottie. Let's get to Lottie Dottie. And I'm like 9 or 10, but it was great. Anyway,
there's the two CDs that my father has thrown out of a window of a moving car. You want to know what they were?
I would love to.
Eazy-E. My brother forgot that it was in the CD player, and my dad listened to "Gimme That Nut" and threw the CD out the window.
Fair enough.
And this one's really going to hurt you. Adam Sandler, they're all going to laugh at you. Threw it out the window.
What didn't he like about that?
I think it was the medium pace is what set him off.
That is an aggressive song.
Yeah, it was like he put up with like the beating of a high school janitor and like the bloody Betty, like Buddy. And then once they got to medium pace, he was like, I have heard enough of this. And he just opened the window of the car, just fired the CD out the car.
That's not safe.
That's not safe. No.
I don't like that. What's
my
your
next one?
Yeah.
It's 4 episodes, so you can breeze through it, but it's actually really cool. The Movies That Made Us.
Yeah. Yep.
So they do, I know off the top of my head, they do Ghostbusters, they do Die Hard,
Home Alone,
Dirty Dancing, and Home Alone. And there's just these 4 episodes, and it's like talking to the director, talking to like the executives who made it, and I had no idea that Home Alone was just like this throwaway movie. That,
Not only that,
just,
it was shot in like a gym.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. Like it wasn't like they film it in a way where you would have no idea. Like the way they shoot it.
The interior of the house is in like a huge open like warehouse.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially as a kid watching it, you're just like, oh, that's the house on the street, and that's where they film it.
Yeah.
In the house, like crazy.
Yeah. So that's
I really one was good too.
Yeah, I like the Die Hard one was really cool too.
Yeah.
I thought that was how like Reginald Vell Johnson got the gig. Like that was a cool story.
Pick of the pod.
Love that guy.
Love that
All
guy. Right. The Sinner. Both seasons of The Sinner. It's a USA show, I believe, originally, but is now on Netflix. Bill Pullman. They're two completely different seasons.
That's what I was going to ask you. Good. I'm glad you said that.
But Bill Pullman plays the same character.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Morgan Freeman and those like Kiss the Girls and like.
So he's a detective, but it's like two different cases.
Yeah. All so right. You could watch season 2 on its own, and so season 1 co-stars Jessica Biel.
Right.
And it's really good. And season 2, friend of the podcast, Carrie Coon.
No shoot.
So I would recommend both. You can watch them in whatever order you want. I mean, I think the second one, Pullman might refer to the first story a couple of times, but like it's really not a huge deal. But you can watch those both very good.
All right. Next one. We've talked about this a lot, but it's gotten better. I think it's 3 seasons now, and it's gotten better every single season. Is a Chef Show with Jon Favreau and
very good
Roy Choi. This episode they do with Wolf, just like the food they make, and you can tell. Someone said to me once, "You never trust a skinny chef," and Jon Favreau is not skinny like at all, but a guy who just you could tell just really likes food.
Yeah,
and not like he likes eating food, but like he likes
but he's into it. Like for that role that he was in, he's like, I don't want to be like a fake chef, so teach me how to cook. But he obviously cares about it, and you can tell. Yeah,
he cares about it, and like just the process of it, and just how what food means to different people. And obviously the guy who co-hosted with Roy Choi, who started like the whole food truck thing, like the gourmet food truck thing. And they talked to Wolfgang Puck in the 3rd episode of season 1, which is really cool. And the best episode there. Yeah, they have a whole dinner party with the Russos and Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. like one night, just like shooting the shit about Marvel, which is a really cool episode. And then they talked to Gwyneth Paltrow, and she didn't know that she was in a Spider-Man movie.
Right. Ridiculous.
She's like, we shot so many of those things. Like, she sucks, but like her explanation's kind of good.
Kind of makes sense. You're
like, we shot so many of those things back to back. Like, I just show up and shoot. Like, and I say the lines I'm supposed to. I don't know what movie this is for.
And she's like, you'll put it in a movie. Like, I don't blame her for that either. To be honest. My next one is, and I mentioned this on the podcast, but I don't think enough people have seen it or talk about it. But Broadchurch.
I think you should leave.
Yeah, you guys gotta see it. Oh,
we haven't talked about it,
by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
So, did he fake that, or was that real?
I think he faked it. But it was pretty funny.
That's what my wife thinks too, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe he got on there, and she's like, no, he didn't. But either way, there was a Fox News thing, and they were interviewing people who were pissed about the COVID shutdown.
Yeah.
And then it flashes to Tim Robinson in his car being like, this is the time that I normally get my Halloween costume. I always get my Halloween decorations right now. I mean, really? I thought it was great. But Broadchurch, every episode, I think it's 3 seasons, is on Netflix. It was a BBC show originally. If you like a whodunit, and who don't like a whodunit, Ryan?
Who don't like a dunit?
You got to check this one out. So that one's really good. What else you got?
Last one I got, my last pick. One we've mentioned for one specific episode, but I actually really like this show. Is Documentary Now.
Yeah.
Bill Hader and Fred Armisen mostly. And what they do is they basically spoof
that's what's funny.
Famous documentaries. And if I were to point you to they're all one-off episodes, so it's not, you can watch them in any order or whatever. My favorite episode is Gentle and Soft. The story of the Blue Jean Committee, which is like this 70s like soft rock band, which the music they make is actually really good. They wrote all the songs for the show. And they do a spoof of the Talking Heads one too. Stop Making Sense, but I think the name of the band is like Test Pattern or something.
Yeah.
But they're actually like pretty clever, and I think it's awesome because like I think we've talked about it before. Like Bill Hader and Fred Armisen are like, we don't really expect anybody to watch this. Like we just make it because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, they're so funny too. Like they
Yeah.
do the Thin Blue Line one.
That one's incredible. It's so funny. But
there's also
obviously
the one that they do like the food place, like the guy who makes like the chicken like in the middle of nowhere or whatever.
Like Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
So good. So good.
And obviously the one we've talked about is the Suck My Sack, the bowling one. Any Given Saturday.
My God. It was Tim Robinson.
It's Tim Robinson. Suck My Sack. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So documentary now. It's kind of, some of them are better than others, but it's really, really good. Yeah. First 2 seasons are great.
The Evil Genius. Have you seen Evil Genius?
Yes.
So Evil Genius, you may have seen it at the time. It's a documentary. I think it's only like 4 parts, and it is like the worst bank robbery in the history of bank robberies.
Right.
And it's just like the dumbest idiots ever. Like you're watching it and you can't believe that it was even going on. It's pretty good. So if you somehow missed it when it first came out, go check out Evil Genius.
This is one of 2 shows that I'll recommend today. If you liked Tiger King, watch Evil Genius.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
If you liked like fucked up people doing really stupid fucking things, watch that. Yeah.
All right, you got one more Netflix?
No, that's it.
All right, let's do the HBO, or do you want to do Disney Plus?
No, let's do HBO.
All right, HBO. You do your 5 because we're already at like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So do your 5 and then highlight 1 or 2 that you want to talk about.
Okay, so I have 5 HBO shows that we mentioned but haven't done solo pods on. Crashing with Pete Holmes.
Yep.
Vice Principals.
Great.
Which I love that show. Summer Heights High, which is like I thought that was fucking funny.
Okay.
It's Chris Lilly. He does all the different characters.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah being the best one. Spawn, you can get on HBO Go or HBO Now, the animated series, which is still good to this day. And the other documentary that, like Evil Genius, if you like fucked up people doing really stupid things and you haven't seen The Jinx, watch The Jinx.
Oh,
The Jinx was awesome.
Jinx is definitely good. Here we go. Let's go with an oldie but a goodie, True Blood.
Yep. Kind of gets lost in the middle seasons there. You kind of
does. It gets a little slappy, but the first couple are really good.
Really good.
And it's
first
been
3
out
seasons
for,
are
like,
really good.
Such a long time that maybe you missed it forever ago. The Leftovers, that's more for you. I think most people have seen The Leftovers. You guys see The Leftovers. Annabelle Comes Home, pretty good horror movie. Fraggle Rock is available.
Fucking right, it is.
Fraggle Rock is a delicious treat. And just coming out right now, I know people want more of an upbeat thing. This might be more of a downer, but I think it just came out. I haven't seen it yet, but it's a new documentary called Atlanta's Missing and Murdered, The Lost Children.
Is that the one they do in Mindhunter?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the reason why maybe to watch it. Mindhunter Season 2 really hits on this. It's super fucked up, but again, that's what most documentaries are now.
Yeah.
They're all like true
people
crime,
watch.
like serial killers and stuff. But that one, I think it just debuted last weekend or it's coming out this weekend, but that's like sort of the new HBO thing coming out. Let's go Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. All right, I'm going to start. I'll just do my 5.
Yeah.
Onward.
Okay.
Spark Shorts.
What is Spark Shorts?
Spark Shorts is actually a really cool thing. So Pixar, you know, Pixar does like they do these massive projects that take years.
Yeah.
And so what they did is for every animator, they gave them 6 months and basically said like, you do whatever you want. So like you have like these top-notch animators and they're just doing these digital shorts that like meant a lot to them. And cool. they're really good. And some of them are like PG-13, like there's some swearing in them. And one we did by accident. It was like a ball of yarn. It's supposed to be a woman who's like an all-male workplace and yada, yada, yada. But she like tells dirty jokes and like swears. So I'm watching it with the kids. I'm like, Jesus, like, holy.
Yeah, like, wait a minute,
it's cool to watch. It's cool to watch people who are really good at their craft just do whatever they want.
I agree.
So there's some really cool ones on there. 2 shows that my kids watch that I actually watch with them. Gravity Falls. If you haven't seen Gravity Falls, that show is actually really funny. And a show, it's an Australian show that my kids are bananas about. It's called Bluey, and it's a family of dogs from Australia. You would love it. Watch it with CC. Watch Bluey because the father in Bluey is the guy I want to be. It's awesome. So I said Onward, Bluey, Spark Shorts, Gravity Falls, and the last one, Hostile Planet. It's hosted by Bear Grylls, but it's basically like the harshest climates with the most badass animals. And it's just like a really cool nature. Speaking of foxes ripping heads off of things.
Not bad.
If you like hostile environments, watch Hostile. And Bear Grylls isn't annoying about it. Where you like fake shit and eat whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's just hosting it. So it's good. Yeah.
All right, here we go. On Disney Plus, the Aladdin live action movie, not bad.
Not bad.
That's available right now. The original Muppet movie is currently available right now.
It's so good.
It's not bad. There's an MCU documentary which is like 12 and a half minutes, like with Kevin Feige, like talking about like what's next for like Marvel and stuff. So that's available if you look for that. The X-Men the animated series. That's not fucking bad, right? That's on there if you want to watch all episodes.
Best theme song of all
Best
animated
theme song of
shows
all time.
ever.
And you and I recently got into Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Apparently Star Wars Rebels is good. People are like, you gotta stay with it. Everyone's like, you gotta watch Rebels. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Don't ever pitch me a show where like you just gotta stay with it. Because I don't have time.
Yeah. No, it seems like a lot, but
yeah,
I heard it's good. There's more Ahsoka Tano in that, so I'll watch that. All right, go to Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Good Omens, Neil Gaiman property. I really liked it. I know it's not for everybody. It's a lot of heaven and hell, a lot of Antichrist stuff, and it's very cheeky. I like it. I like it. Sneaky Pete. I think its third and final season is done. Executive produced by Bryan Cranston, and the guy who did Justified is the showrunner for that. I forget the guy's name, but it's really good. Catastrophe with Rob Delaney. That's a show, admittedly, because I can hear the fumes coming from it. My wife watched and is like, you have to watch it. I've seen one episode. I really like it, and I'm going to finish it by the time this quarantine is over. I did really like the first episode. Marvelous Miss Maisel.
I've heard that's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
And Hunters is a show I just started. I'm 2 episodes in. I'm 2 episodes in, and it's worth a look.
That's the one with Pacino, right?
But he's like not really. He's like
okay
in it, but not really in it. You know what I mean?
All right, I got you. All right, I have one thing that I've seen, and then 4 things that I haven't that I want to see.
Yeah.
So for Amazon Prime, they are airing the documentary series Dark Side of the Ring, which is like a Vice show. And again, kind of a downer, but they did a 2-part series on Chris Benoit.
Yes.
That's actually available on YouTube right now too. If you don't have Prime, you can watch it.
I watched it I watched some of that on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good. Like they got all the people that you'd want to be involved in it, but it's just so messed up. But they do a bunch of wrestling stories.
I'm gonna take Hunters off my list.
Okay.
And I just came to my attention a couple days ago. A movie called The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, which is executive produced by Jeff Tremaine and Johnny Knoxville. It's this family of people in West Virginia who are the most fascinating group of people I've ever met in my life.
What is Johnny Knoxville doing right now? This?
Apparently? No, this movie was like movie's like 8 years old. But please, if you're going to watch a documentary about screwed up people, watch The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia on Amazon Prime today.
Okay. Then here are 4 things I have not seen yet.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse, where it apparently is Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson just screaming at each other in black and white.
About an old salt, about like a bird, right? About like a seagull.
I think they're in a lighthouse, and they're in a lighthouse. Literally screaming at each other. And I'm like, I should probably watch that at some point. The Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I've not seen it yet. I am a Kevin Smith fan, but admittedly, his last several movies have not been good. In fact,
can we do an episode of Point Counterpoint where you tell me why Kevin Smith is good? We'll do it. We'll call it Hot Cold 2.
Dork Debate,
and why and it's Kevin Smith is the
Kevin Smith. We'll do a Kevin Smith episode
of Dork Debates.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
The Americans. Everybody's told me this is the greatest show ever. It was an FX show. It's all done. It's now on Amazon Prime.
People are all over us about this show.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
Neither one of us have seen it.
I admittedly need to see it.
Yeah.
And the other one that's also on Prime is Hannibal, which came out years ago. Hannibal Lecter from it was an NBC show. But it was really good.
I watched the first season.
Was it good?
It's good.
All right, I got to see that.
It's good.
All right, what do you got for Hulu?
Hulu. I need to say this because it's obvious, but we need Rick and Morty.
That's an obvious one.
That's an obvious one. But here's some other ones that Letterkenny, which is it's a Canadian show. Super funny, a lot of catchphrases if you're into that kind of thing. There's parts of the show that I really don't like that I actually skip, like when the episodes happen.
Okay.
If you guys if you watch Letterkenny and want to know, you got my Twitter handle right.
Arvondi.
there. You can ask me about that. I just started watching What We Do in the Shadows, the series. It's good. It's as good as the movie. If you
Is it
like
really?
the movie, yeah, it's good.
Well, the movie I like a lot, but
yeah,
the
you would
show's
like the
good?
show.
Okay.
It's the
All right.
exact same, except they're in America. They're in America. They're not in
Okay.
New Zealand. So they go to a vampire nightclub owned by Nick Kroll, who's also a vampire. So it's like
Love it.
a lot of great cameos in it. So definitely check that out. Atlanta. We haven't talked about Atlanta. Like I started watching it. It's really good.
It's an incredible show.
One of the best shows on TV, and a show that I talk about all the time because I love the way it's shot, and I hate the fact that someone else had this idea before me. Show Abandoned with Rick McCrank. It's on Vice. It's just one season, but he goes to like these abandoned places in America and just like shoots the shit out of it and asks people like what happened. My favorite episode is the one he does. He just travels old Route 66.
Oh.
And there used to be like the drive. You go from Chicago to the Santa Monica Pier,
Right.
and it's just a shithole now. So it's a really cool show, and like I said, I love the way it's shot and the way it's done. So if you like that kind of thing, check out Abandoned.
Gets good. I got Brockmire on Hulu. Brockmire, one of the greatest Funny or Die skits of all time with Hank Azaria, and then it was spun into a show, and you're like, all right, how's this going to work? And it was hilarious. And they've done a bunch of seasons, and it's all on Hulu right now. I think it was an IFC show. Like, who the fuck is on IFC? But Brockmire is really good. You mentioned Atlanta. Also, if you never saw The Last Man on Earth with Will Forte,
I caught a couple episodes. I didn't watch the whole thing.
he like kind of plays MacGruber like ish. Like he's not MacGruber, but like he some of the stuff that he does is kind of like that. And it's a really good show. The problem with the show is it got canceled before they could really finish it. So it ends kind of on a cliffhanger.
And this is one of those ones that got canceled and people were like, why?
Yeah, they were pissed. It got canceled at the same time like Brooklyn Nine-Nine did. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine got picked up on NBC. This show didn't. But I feel like Netflix or somebody could pick the show up. It was good. Also, this one, a shout out to your wife here, Ryan, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer is on Hulu.
She knows that.
Show's legit.
She knows that, yeah.
Movie Warrior with Tom Hardy is on Hulu. Warrior was great. MMA movie.
I have a connection to that movie. Two connections to that movie. So the guy who directed that movie is a guy named Gavin
Rosdale.
No. Gavin O'Connor.
Okay.
Gavin O'Connor's much younger brother, Luke O'Connor, was a student of mine, and he played football for me.
How about that?
And I met him. He came to a football game once, and I introduced myself, and I told him the story about my brother in Miracle, because Gavin O'Connor directed Miracle.
Wow.
Have I told that story in the podcast?
Tell it again.
So my brother was a theater major in college. He's an incredible actor. And he gets a call. We were living in Manchester, New Hampshire, and he gets a call from his agent saying, like, hey, they're filming a movie about the 1980 Olympic team, and they're looking for hockey players. My brother played Division I hockey in Manhattanville, and they're looking for hockey players. Like, you would be an absolute shoo-in for this movie because you act and you played hockey at a high level. Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
He slept through the audition.
I feel like
they were doing
like I'm not gonna tell him what to do.
But he probably should have gone. They did it at Marlboro. They did it at the rink in Marlboro. And a kid who we grew up playing with, Mike Mandanuto, actually wound up playing Jackie O'Callahan. And Matt Hansen's brother, who we went to high school with, is he's the last guy who gets cut that got the mustache.
Oh, really?
That's Matt Hansen's brother, yeah.
Fucking guy.
So he connections to that movie all over the place. But yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh, and Ryan, also on Hulu, if you're looking for Ghost Whisperer, you got it. If you're looking for 5 good seasons,
who would have thought that so many Jennifer Love Hewitt fans listen to this podcast?
Ryan,
I thought I was a shoo-in for that win in the Mac and Goo podcast.
How could you not be a fan of Jennifer Love Hewitt, though?
I am, but not that much.
Well, you should have drafted her in the draft.
What was that guy from LFO from Boston, Rich Cronin? I heard him tell stories about her, and he did not paint her in the most flattering way.
Yeah, he went out with her, right?
Yeah, and she broke up with him through she didn't tell him. Remember that happened to me? The girl broke up with him, didn't tell him, and he found out like through like her publicist. Like he saw it in a newspaper, then called her, but her publicist answered, and she broke up with him for her.
It's not ideal.
Not ideal.
It's not ideal.
But yes, I was once broken up with and not told. That was a good day.
It happens, man.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't happen.
Typically, it doesn't.
doesn't
You're
happen.
right. Typically, it doesn't happen.
And I came back to the room,
Yep.
and I told you what happened.
Yep.
And what did you do?
What'd I say?
You laughed. You laughed about it.
What was I supposed to do?
Well, at that point,
In hindsight,
at that point in my life, what was I supposed to do?
How would you have handled it differently?
I wouldn't have. I don't
There's
fault
nothing.
you for that.
Ryan, let's skip the pick of the pod this week
Yeah,
because
fuck
that was
that.
literally 50 picks of the pod right there.
Yeah, there
That
you
was
go.
50 fucking things to watch.
Yep.
That's a lot of things to watch.
It's a lot of picks.
What do we got next week? We got a free play, or what do we got? We got something?
Someone said something to me on Twitter. I
Or
forget
do you
who
want
it
to
was.
do the
and I
Kevin Smith show?
we could do the Kevin Smith show, but someone said we have to do a Bad Boys retrospective.
I got to see the new one.
I have to. It's out. You can rent it.
Oh, is it? Yeah. I could do Bad Boys.
You
That's
can do a
not
Bad
bad.
Boys retrospective. It's
That's not
an excuse for a whole week. You have to watch 3 Bad Boys movies.
I do anyway.
I still laugh
Typical
out
week.
loud at the scene. Who the fuck is Reggie?
Oh my god, with them looking at him, like, huh?
I cannot wait for you and I to do that to our daughters.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
It's
have
absolutely.
to
We're gonna
happen.
do it word for
You
word.
got to invite me over. I'll
Who the
invite
fuck
you
is you?
over
Yeah.
for their first date.
Who the fuck
Gonna
is
come
you?
over.
How old are you? 16.
Oh, the fuck are you?
look 30.
30.
Pull
Yeah,
a
I
gun
can't
out
wait.
on the fucking
I
kid.
can't wait for that.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
All right, there you go. That is 50 things to watch. You, of course, can email us, dorkpodcast@gmail.com, or tweet us at dorkpodcast if you have other shit that you think we should watch. You can follow us on Instagram as well. On YouTube, we're streaming these episodes, youtube.com/dorkpodcast throughout the pandemic. You can watch them live on Monday nights, or you can go back and watch the video for some reason if you want to do that after the fact. Davey was twitching
Oh, we're still twitching. That's
the
not
Red
stopping.
Sox.
That's not stopping.
Oh, is that right?
We're gonna keep twitching. They're gonna stop me.
Twitch.tv/rvond for that. Anything else? Ryan?
No, we get Q&A. What do we got?
You got a Q&A? Anybody want to Q&A? Jump in the old chat. We can Q&A it up. Again, that's the beauty of the YouTube chat. Yeah, David Allen might be right. Better Call Saul next week.
Oh, yeah, I guess I mean, that's yeah.
That's not bad. That's probably the way.
Do we
to
do
go.
all? Have we done?
Well,
we haven't done any other seasons.
Oh, I know, but we could do this season.
We can
It's
do
not-
this season,
It's that good
yeah.
of a show. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Mike's right. He can't believe
Mike is right.
we
but
haven't
like,
seen Bad Boys 3. That is definitely on us.
no, but something happened. We had to see something in the theater. What did we see in the theater?
Birds of Prey?
It was Birds of Prey, and they came out at like the same time. And then the shit hit the fan, and it just it didn't slip through the cracks. It's always been on my mind,
Yeah.
and it's like the highest rated one, right? I gotta see it.
Yeah, we gotta see it.
Yeah.
This one's from CT Rebel. Davey, do you got enough toilet paper?
I got all the toilet paper because
You
I
do?
the toilet. Yeah. Why? What? Do I need
don't know.
toilet paper?
I don't know why he's asking you, but
Yeah, I'm good.
we're in a pandemic.
Yeah, go to Costco.
So Matthew has got a good question. So
Good
this
question.
movie has popped up on Netflix. It's called
Yep.
Code 8.
Mhm.
And Stephen Amell, who played the Green Arrow on
Yeah.
Arrow, and his brother, or no, his cousin, who played like Firestorm or one of the other characters, they're in this like sci-fi movie that came out like in theaters like last December, and then it just got released like a week ago on Netflix, and it's like super popular. I've not seen it.
I haven't seen it, but it's like it's a world with like superheroes, but like they're not allowed to use their powers. It's one of those things. It's like
Yeah,
The
so-
Incredibles, but like more gritty.
I guess
I
I'll
like
watch it. I don't know.
I'll watch it. It's
I-
Stephen Amell or Amell.
Amell. Stephen
Yeah.
Amell. He's ripped.
Yeah, yes,
I'll
I'll
watch
watch it.
Shime's a big fan of Stephen Amell. I've not done an AC Slater yet.
You should. Now's the time.
Yeah, that's
Now's
true.
the time.
I should take a shit the wrong way. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
your elbows up there. Just
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. David says Westworld's pretty good right now. Are you keeping up with Westworld?
I am. How do I say this without like giving too much away? It's just like
I have not seen a single second of this season.
It's better. It's not good. It's just so convoluted. Like it just.
So Aaron Paul, how's Aaron Paul in this?
He's good. I mean, he's Aaron Paul. Like he's the same guy he is in everything. Marshawn Lynch is great in it.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know how they're gonna like pay this off. You know, that's always been the issue of this show is like season 2. I know you didn't finish it, but they didn't really like fucking pay anything off. Like you got somewhere, but you didn't I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's trying to be like too Christopher Nolan or like J.J. Abrams at the same time, and it like can't, you know?
Yeah. Lindsay says, "What's your favorite drink?" Ryan, I think yours is.
I will ask I'll answer your question with a question. Lindsay, are you serious? Are you kidding?
Davies is ginger ale. Mine is. I would probably say a nice New England IPA or a Long Island iced tea.
When I do indulge. I very much like old fashions. So
there you go.
I like a good old fashioned.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
This one's from Mike. He says, "What's your thoughts on Ozark?" Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. We did a whole goddamn episode on it last week, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. When was that?
Yeah, we did a whole episode on.
We did a whole thing on Ozark. I like Ozark season 3 the most.
Yep, I'm gonna go 3-1-2.
3-1-2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was not mentioned in the HBO list because it is a Netflix show, and also because yes, it is too popular. We try to do ones that we haven't hit on a ton.
Yep. So
it's really good.
Yeah, it is good. We like it.
It's not Breaking Bad. It's not Better Call Saul.
It tries to be Breaking Bad. Obviously,
it does try a little bit. No, that's definitely true. What else are you watching right now? Any other shows?
Yeah.
I finally finished. Sorry, I just asked you a question and I jumped in.
Yeah.
But I finally finished Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And I love how our girl Megan Ferguson came flying back.
She's good.
Last episode, she was back in.
We should have been nicer to her.
Yeah, no, she hated us. Well, she hated me, but whatever. You know, we were young. What do you want me to do?
We're young. What do you want? We're not the same people we were back then. That's not true. That's not true. If I show up at my 20-year reunion next year, and they're gonna be like, "You're the same fucking person you were."
Are you going?
I gotta go. I'm a form agent.
Come on.
I am.
So you're gonna go and just.
I have to vote. I have to vote.
You have to vote? What are you voting on?
Yeah. So the Alumni Association president. I got to vote next week.
What are you voting on?
We're voting on who the next president is.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So you guys gonna have like a big party or anything?
A Zoom party. It's through Zoom. You want to come?
It's on Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh, this year I guess it has to be. Yeah, good point.
When is St. Paul's going to invite us back to give a talk?
You know? Probably soon. I mean, 2 guys they wouldn't give a goddamn radio show to, and then
they wouldn't. That's true. They wouldn't give us a radio show.
They wouldn't. And I always laugh about that when they when they ask for money. And I'm like,
they always
I'm like, I'm trying to think. Like, did you give me my start in radio? Oh no, that's right. You in fact said no, we couldn't have a radio show.
You said no, we couldn't have a radio show, and then we started crashing other people's radio shows.
Correct.
Yep.
So that's that. All right. Anyway, so next week could be Better Call Saul, could be Kevin Smith, could be something.
Could be
else.
Bad Boys. Who knows?
Could be Bad Boys for God's sakes.
For dang sakes.
But that's gonna do it. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at Dork Podcast and at rvaughnd. And Ryan, what do they say about wombats?
Square buttholes.